Hey guys, it's Ayden Jacobs and I'm here today to talk about my Helix LT. Now, ever since about 2 years ago, I've had so many questions about the Helix, my thoughts on it, and how it compares to other products that are similar. Now, first of all, I just want to state my thoughts on the Helix. So first of all, the price. It's absolutely affordable compared to other products that are similar. Second of all, the sound quality of effects in this thing is absolutely stellar. Third, the amp simulation and cab simulation is absolutely perfect. The feel, the sound, everything. And fourth, for me, it does everything I need it to and more. So now, I just want to explain the 3 ways that I've used the Helix since I've gotten it. So the first way that I used it is the 4-cable method, which a lot of you probably know what it is and how it works. But for those of you that don't, it's basically I have an amp with an effects loop, and I take my Helix, plug it into the effects loop and the front of the amp. What that allows me to do is it allows me to put certain effects in the effects loop, like delays and reverbs, to keep them nice and clean. It allows me to put distortions and fuzz pedals and all that kind of stuff in the front where it's supposed to be. Now, since I'm going through the effects loop of the amp, in the Helix itself, I need that effects loop block or else it won't work. No sound will come out. So once you get that effects loop block in there, it'll work perfectly. Now, another cool thing that I used while doing the 4-cable method was I used the Helix as my clean channel. Now, to explain what I mean by that, the amp that I was using had 3 gain stages, so it did have a clean sound, but it wasn't foot switchable. So I kind of had to set a sound that I liked on this amp and leave it, and I couldn't really touch it after that. So it made it kind of limited as to what it could do. So what I ended up doing is I put a clean amp simulation in the Helix, so a clean amp block, beside my effects loop block, and I assigned the effects loop block and that clean amp block to 1 foot switch, which is really cool because it means I can assign 2 effects to 1 foot switch, which makes this like a Swiss Army knife type thing. But anyways, when I would hit that foot switch, it would turn off the effects loop, so it would turn off the preamp in this amp and then bring up and turn on that clean amp simulation. So it would use my amp as a power amp and a clean speaker to sort of house that clean amp simulation. So now I have a clean sound or a clean channel, which made the Helix magic for me and made it so versatile for the type of gigs that I was doing. Now, the second way that I used it was straight into the PA. So the setup in the Helix looks very similar, although rather than having the effects loop block, I would have another amp block for my dirty sound, and I would also have a cab simulation because now there's no speaker. I'm going straight into a PA. And that setup worked perfectly for travel gigs. So, say I was flying somewhere, I would shove my Helix in its bag, have my guitar in another bag, and that was it. And it was so perfect, it was so light, show up to a gig, plug straight in, good to go. Now, the cool thing about doing it that way is this is digital, right? So every time you plug it in, it's exactly the same. It's super, super consistent. Rather than tubes that can be very, kind of unreliable, they can sound different every night, this is 100% consistent. Now, the third way that I've used it, and the way that I'm using it right now, is I just bought this Line 6 matching cab for the Helix. This cab is a flat response speaker, but the magic thing about this cab is it also has cab simulation in it, which basically means that rather than just being a flat response speaker, I can now have, say, I can make it sound like a greenback speaker, a creamback. I can load IRs into this thing. It's absolutely amazing. And the cool thing is now in the Helix, I can get rid of that cab simulation block. So I can free up some DSP and have some more space for more effects. I can do more stuff. It's absolutely awesome. So now what I want to show you is I just want to show you some of the effects, the sound quality, and I'll show you the sound quality of these amp simulation and the cab simulation with the 2 ways that I just explained. Now, the reason I said 2 ways is because I don't have an amp anymore. I literally just have the Helix and this cab. So I can't really show you the 4-cable method. So the most that I could do is explain. So the first way I'm going to show you is through this Line 6 cab. It's going direct out of this into this interface, straight into Logic. Now, in case you're wondering, the amp simulations that I'm using for my dirty sound is the Placator Dirty, which is based on the Friedman BE100 dirty sound. The clean sound I'm using is a Fender Clean. So here is my dirty sound going through this cab as a greenback. Here it goes. can already hear how amazing it sounds. And the cool thing about this dirty sound is it cleans up so nicely. If I put it on my neck pickup, just roll it up a little bit. Such a nice tone. But anyways, here's my clean tone. Here's the Fender type clean. Super nice clean tone. Alright, so now that that's done, I want to show you the other way that I was using it. So straight into a PA. So the preset that I'm going to bring up right now is basically the exact same thing, but now I have a cab sim in there, and it's not going through this cab anymore. It's going literally, all the work is coming from the Helix, going straight into this interface, straight into Logic. So here is the exact same amp, everything, just now with a cab sim. The cab sim I'm using is a 412 Greenback 25 with a 421 dynamic mic on it. So here we go. So here's my clean sound. Super nice clean tone. Now, the next thing I want to do is go through just some of the effects, some of the sound qualities of effects, because they're absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go back to my other preset, which is going through this cab. So once again, this is what it sounds like. Now, the effects that I have set on this are a delay, chorus, phaser, gain pedal, reverb, flanger, and a boost. So here's my delay. You can already hear how nice that delay sounds. All right, next up's chorus. Nice chorus tone. Next is my phaser. Don't really know how to play that song, that's why I messed up. Next is my gain. So without the gain, with next is my reverb. Next is my flanger. And then last but not least is my boost. So the cool thing about my boost is I have two effects set on this one block. So I have an EQ pedal that's literally just raising the volume, and then I have a gain pedal, which is obviously pushing the front end of the amp, giving me some more gain. But anyways, here it is. So this is without, it's with. Super nice tones. I absolutely love this thing. I think it's absolutely perfect. So one of the next questions that I've gotten is, how do I cover so many bands? And the reason I got asked that is because I have a Journey tribute, Rush tribute, I have a cover gig that does everything from country to rock to prog, everything. And then I also have my original act. So there's 4 different tones there that I need to get to. And the answer to that question is snapshots. So snapshots are super useful. They're super cool. And the easiest way to sort of explain a snapshot is basically a preset within a preset. It's really cool. So in this preset, I have 8 different snapshots. So now the thing with snapshots is obviously each foot switch has its own effect. So one foot switch has a delay, one foot switch has a chorus. So if I switch snapshots, I can't switch which effects I have on each foot switch, but I can change the parameters. So say on one snapshot I have a delay set with a certain time or a certain mix. On the next snapshot I can have that mix turned up, turned down, whatever. So the answer to that question, how do I cover so many bands, is snapshots. So my first snapshot is a crunchy tone. So it's gainy but not too much gain. This is what it sounds like. In that snapshot I also have my clean channel, obviously, which is this. And then my delay, chorus, phaser, gain, reverb, flanger, and boost. So those effects are set very sort of, what's the word? They're set very simple to cover a wide sort of array of genres and bands and stuff. But yeah, so that's the snapshot that I use for my original act, in my cover act. So now, my second snapshot, just more gain. That's all. I use that for my Journey gig. So Neil Sean has a bit more gain in his tone. So that's what that sounds like. Now the parameters of the effects are exactly the same. The only difference is gain. Now, the next snapshot that I have, the next band that I cover is Rush. So with this, there's a bit more going on. So my EQ on my amps have both changed, and a lot of the parameters on my effects have changed to match sort of Alex Lifeson's tone. Now, for my EQ, I have a little bit less gain, a little bit more bass, a little bit less treble. It's a bit warmer sounding to sort of get that Alex Lifeson tone. But anyways, here's the basic dirty tone. Here's the clean tone. Those are the 2 most basic tones. Now in terms of effects, here's my delay. So the only thing that's changed on this delay is there's a bit more feedback and there's a modulation on it. And it's a little bit more saturated. It's like a saturated tape delay. second effect is my chorus. So the thing with the chorus, I turned the mix down a little bit, but I've turned the depth up. So the amount that it goes out of tune and back up is a bit more, but the mix is a little bit lower, so you don't hear it as much. But here's the chorus. Next is my phaser for what's it called, 2112, where we're going. So this part is where the phaser. Next pedal is my gain pedal. Gain pedal is exactly the same. There's no difference in that. Next is my reverb. So the reverb that I have set for this is louder, but the decay is a lot shorter. So that's for, oh, I can't remember what song it is. Red Barchetta. That's where we're going. That part. The next is my flanger. Now the flanger I just have set a little bit crazier, so the width of the flanger is a lot wider. Use this for things like Tom Sawyer, because it's a 3-piece Rush band, but we don't have keyboards, so I have to do a lot of the keyboard work. So when we hit that first note, there's that sort of like keyboard morgue type tone. So next is the boost. Boost is exactly the same. Don't need to go over that. But yeah, so that sort of covers my 4 most basic tones in bands and stuff. But other than that, on my snapshots, I have a wild flanger for no reason. And then I have an octave patch. And then a solo patch, which is basically my boost just turned on. But yeah, like other than that, all I have to say about the Helix is it's absolutely perfect. I have had nothing wrong with it. It's revolutionary, like I said before. It's awesome. But yeah, so I'm gonna make another video about how to make presets and stuff. And I'm probably going to release my preset, so you can go online and download it for yourself. If you have a Helix, you can load it straight in. But yeah, I encourage everybody to get a Helix. It's absolutely amazing. The Helix is perfect. But yeah, so like I said before, I'm going to create a couple more videos about the Helix, how to create presets, how to do all the stuff. So anyways, yeah, this is the Helix. I hope I answered your questions. I hope it was intuitive. Yeah, I'll be back very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like.